when you decide to go on your own. And today I'm going to talk to you about that specific thing. Okay, so bear with me as I get into it. My name is Matilda Sikaminzende. Thank you for joining my live. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of how I decided to do this live in this particular format and how it's going to work. Okay, so welcome if you're watching me wherever you are. I would love to see who you are and where you're watching. Please leave a comment so I know who it is that's watching and what brought you here today. You have to bear with me. I'm using my tablet today, so the ratio to the eye level and the actual video is a bit strange right now. So that's basically what it is. But so let me tell you about myself. So my name is Matilda Sikaminzende. I am a authentic coach. I help quiet leaders to build their authentic confidence. And 3 years ago, I decided I was going to leave the UK. Yes, I did. And I didn't know if it was going to be the best idea or not. I intended to travel and live perhaps in Italy or Spain or Portugal. But deep in my heart, I really wanted to go back to Africa and do amazing things. I was really inspired by my dad because every year of my life, he used to say to me, since I was a little child, he would say to me, Matty, go to school, and when you finish school, I want you to go back home and build homes. Hey, Kua, how you doing? Good to see you, my lovely. Thank you for joining. So my dad used to say this to me every year of my life. Go to school. When you finish school, then you can build homes. Now, I don't know anything about building homes. I'm not a real estate agent. I know nothing at all. Like literally, I know nothing. But what I'm really, really good at is I'm really good at building people and building skills because my background is coaching, training. I've been a career coach. Oops, my light has gone down. I've been a career coach for, we'll say, about 14, 15 years. And being a career coach, I've had a lot of experience of helping people like find what they really wanted to do with their lives. So bear with me, guys, because as you can see, my technical issues are coming through. Yes, so that's what I'm good at. I'm good at building people. So when my dad was telling me, go to Africa and, build skills, I didn't know. No, Axel, a human cannot do anything by themselves. I definitely agree with you on that one. So, but thank you for coming in and joining in. So please, if you're watching here for the first time, make sure you share the live. I decided to do this live in this way because I've been doing YouTube for a long time and I work online. I don't make money from YouTube yet, but because of my visibility online, it helps me to position myself. And I did promise my friends, my family, and my followers that I wanted to keep them updated with what I was doing whilst traveling and moving abroad. So this is the reason why I decided I'm going to stop procrastinating and I'm just going to do a regular live stream instead of editing all my videos, make them look fantastically well and holding myself back. Have you ever had that feeling? Have you ever had that feeling? Like you have all these dreams and ideas and you know you got to do it, but you keep giving yourself excuses not to do it. Like if it's you, please give me a comment, give me a like, give me say, yes, Matty, that's me, give me a yes, right? So let me go back to the story of my dad. So my dad told me about going to Africa. I didn't know I could do it. I didn't believe I could do it. And it took me a little while to actually come to the conclusion that they're the only people that can really truly change Africa are those of African heritage and those that really believe in Africa. So yeah, I stayed quiet for 3 years and I packed up my bag and left. So now it's been 6 months and I'm in Ghana, Accra, the place where I live. And it's been, I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. First of all, okay, so when I came to Ghana, before I came to Ghana, I did a bit of research. I spoke to a couple of friends who lived here and knew a little bit about Ghana and told me what I needed to do. And I thought I had it sorted out. Yes, Ikua, I agree. So I really thought I had it sorted out. I really thought I knew what I was doing. Turns out I didn't know what I was doing, guys. I did not know what I was doing. Because, like when you have a plan and when you have a dream, you have all these ideas that you're going to do something, and it doesn't seem to come out the way you plan it to come out. It just goes pear-shaped. And when I say pear-shaped, I've never seen more pear-shaped in my life. I've been working on the internet since 2011, when it wasn't popular to work online. And my biggest dream was to be a digital nomad. And guys, from working on the internet from 2011, I procrastinated. That's how far. It's really embarrassing. I know. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Hikura says, there is no perfect time. All you can do is your best, and showing up and sharing, helping others to others so they're not alone. Absolutely, Hikura. I'm taking on a live series book and I want to write this year. Good, you should do it. You should do it. So, yes, nothing really works out the way we plan. So, I came in October last year. I actually came twice. I came in June before the first time. Iku, actually, who's in the live, is a good friend of mine, also encouraged me to go to Ghana. Amma, my friend, encouraged me to go to Ghana, my other friends. I'm originally from the Congo, though I might actually have some West African ancestors, because Congo are Bantu people and they are known for having first started to live in the west of Africa and gone all the way down to Central and South Africa. So that's possible. I haven't checked, but it is possible. What I discovered was, whilst planning, everything seemed fine. As soon as I landed for the second time, when it wasn't holiday, I started to feel like this is not a holiday. So as I said, I've been working online since 2011, both full-time, then part-time, and then go back to full-time again. And I thought I had everything sorted out. So by the time I arrived, I knew that I had some clients that were going to clear up my payments, big clients. I had like 2 to 3 incomes all the time. Never one of those people that has like one income. So look at that, my alarm is ringing. Everything's going bad today. 1 second. Why is my alarm ringing? Nobody knows. Anyway, just to stress me. So yeah, so I had a big client that was gonna pay me. I had a bit of money in my account, savings, and I was ready. I arrived in my first accommodation, terrible. Nothing like what I expected. So next day I went to the next accommodation, and that's kind of how it started. From October till December, I lived in 6 different accommodations. Yes, 6. And it was not funny. But I had to adapt quickly, because in between I was waiting for different payments. I teach English and I tutor online. Then I have my coaching, which is my public speaking and confidence. And then I have like contracts, like corporate training contracts. And sometimes I have big clients. So it was all kind of like this. So all of these other income was kind of supporting me whilst I was going through this. And I guess it got to the stage where I remember this day I went to a cafe and I really didn't know what to do. And this girl came up to me and she was like, what's going on? And I said to her, well, I don't know where I'm going to be staying the next day. And she helped me find another place. Um, but still, after that, I still moved into another two accommodation, which is currently right now, I'm living in my 8th accommodation. Yeah. So, what are the goods, the bads, and the ugly? I think the good thing about Ghana is that um, I feel so much relieved and better. It's a different stress from the stress that we receive in London. Things are slower, more calm in different things, but there's still stressful times. I've made a lot of good friends. Um, I definitely have people that I can trust. I have started making a lot of communities. I have I'm part of a skate community. For those of you who don't know, I love my hobby, which has become my passion, and my new income is skating. Well, maybe you should. What did you say? You should look for an estate agent. I'm on that. Cool. So yeah. So as I said, what was I saying? I was talking about yes. So I've made some community friends. So I love skating. I'm passionate about skating. I've been to a lot of like mixers, social events. So I've made a ton of friends, both local Ghanaians, both diaspora, uh, American, British, you name it, everybody. So I've started to really build a lot of friendships, and I'm really grateful. I feel like here, I feel like people are a bit more connected than when I was in the UK. I think like sometimes when you're in a big city or in a big country where everything works, there's so much options that people don't really connect. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? And there's so much variety that we we miss out on treating the things or the people that we could really, really connect with the right way, and it becomes really hard. But I also realized that, like, I feel like we could do more. We could do more. I think in the UK we could do more. And I'm making my own effort to do more, to go out of my way to make those friendships happen. So that's what I've done. The good thing as well is that there's so much good food here. There's a lot of fruits. There's a lot of access to that, and there's a lot of food in abundance. Um, I get to wake up in the sunshine, which for me, who I was suffering from a health condition last year, which I'll tell you another time. It's really, really necessary because I was very much vitamin D deficient, and I didn't have you know enough vitamin to help me. And being in a cold country for like 40 plus years, as a person of color, as a black girl, black woman, it has really affected me. So those are some of the good things. Here you really get around also by who you know. So the more you have people that work in different places, the quicker you'll get around, the quicker that you'll get introductions, things like that. And it's a really good thing. And I noticed that also, like, my social media has like quadruple, especially on TikTok, because of I don't know, the algorithm in Ghana. I don't know. Anyway, so those are the really good things. Yeah, I really do enjoy that. And I guess also like some of the things are a bit more affordable, but not everything. So what are the bads and what are the uglies? I guess the bads are that when you're a foreigner or you're a non-Ghanaian that was brought up here. Now I'm gonna be straight with you. I'm not talking about Ghanaians like my friends who live in London, who were born there. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Ghanaians that are born here. If you're not any Ghanaian that's born here and brought up here, you are going to be classified as others, and that's what's really bad, because it gets ugly because they will rip you off quite a lot. Like, I'm not joking. Like, that is not funny. It is pretty bad and it is not cool. I will tell you some other stories another time, but they will rip you off. So you got to be real clever, and you got to be real eye open, especially if you're a single woman or a person that's coming to Ghana for the first time. As I said, I had to learn the long way and the hard way. I paid a lot of money for these lessons, and they were not pretty. Anyway, so that's the bad, and that can get really ugly because it can be very discouraging, especially if you are pro diaspora Africa and you want to build something really unique. And that's really, yeah, that can be really discouraging, unfortunately. So the thing that I have learned to do is I've learned to let go very quickly and forgive very quickly. Not forget, let me just say that. Don't forget, I forgive, I let go, and I move on quickly. And I'm not gonna say that it's great all the time, but it really does help my own internal nervous system, because if I don't do that, then I can't move on. It's really hard. So if you're Afro diaspora, if you're someone that wants to come to live in Ghana, you got to be aware of all these things. You got to be aware of how some of these things actually work. Feel free to ask me any questions in the chat. I'll try and answer them as much as I can. But yeah, so yeah. Anyway, I don't hate Ghana or Africa. I just know that the way they are is something that could be worked on. But it's like, how can I say? It's like someone comes to your house and they're offering you a gift, but because you think a certain way, you don't realize that person is coming to bring you a gift. And that's kind of the relationship that does happen a lot with like diasporas and like local Ghanaians and local people from the continent. I'm not giving up, to be honest, because I thought to myself, after 3 months, I was like, oh, this is too much. God, why am I here? Like, I could literally just go to Bali or Italy or Portugal and have a good life and blah, blah, blah. Oh, but my calling is here, unfortunately. So I want to make it work. I really want to make it work. I really do want to make it work. The other bad thing, I would say the down thing about living in Ghana is that for someone that's lived in Europe for a long time, the renting system is affordable, but you need to have like a year's rent or 6 months to a year's rent, because if you don't have 6 months to a year's rent, it's going to be real difficult for you to find accommodation. There's Airbnbs and things like that, but as I said, remember, if you're not a local Ghanaian, they will up the price and they will try to charge you extra, and you could be paying near enough like London prices, not exactly, but near enough, or double or like half London prices or something, when technically you could be finding yourself a house that's worth like £200, £300. Yeah, which is like $400, $500, $600. But yeah, you can actually do that. So you gotta prepare yourself, and I found out the hard way by losing a lot of money, unfortunately. I'm still in a monthly rental at the moment, and at the moment I have to save again because my other accommodation took a lot out of me, like a lot. So that's what I would say are some of the bads of Ghana, and the uglies, really. Yeah, so that's what I'll say. The other thing I would say is that when it comes to, even though there's tons and tons of fruits and variety of food, once again, you got to really learn to negotiate, because you can go to places where they'll charge you more and you have to build relationships with the local sellers. You got to learn to go to the market. You can't go to the supermarket all the time because you'll be paying UK prices, France prices, you name it. So you got to balance like how you do all of these other things in reality. Sometimes you'll find that something that you buy at Malcolm Supermarket, which is what their big supermarket, is cheaper than outside, and sometimes outside is cheaper. So it's literally, it's a mismatch. That's one of the bad things as well. Um, and yeah, just I think the uglies would be like really like finding yourself with the wrong people. And the sad thing is that sometimes people assume that because you do not live in the continent, you don't live in Africa, you've never lived in Africa, you're stupid, which is not the truth, and you're naive. And they will assume because of your accent or because of the way you dress or because of the way you are that you don't know anything, which is far, 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 far from the truth. I've lived in 8 different countries. I speak 5 languages. I've traveled to 22 different countries, and believe me, by myself, in places that people don't look like me, no one can scam me, to be honest. It's not possible. You may think you can because I look positive and smiley, but I'm very far from being naive and stupid. Very far. But unfortunately, that's the sad and the ugly truth that does happen. So I say this because I don't want you guys to, I don't romanticize my life here, but I also don't want to, I share this no shrinking diaries because I don't want people to shrink. And the reason why I started doing the no shrinking diary, because I wanted people to make their dream happen. Like, the biggest thing that people fail to tell you, that when you're going to achieve your dream, they're gonna fail to tell you that, things are not gonna go as plans. Things are gonna go wrong and right. And sometimes the more you get closer to what you want to do, the worse it's going to get. And I felt that so many times, trust me. So anyway, let me tell you about what it's like online, and then I'll tell you about the event that I'm running, that I started here, which is happening next week. So, as you know, I have 3 different incomes. I'm working online because that's the only way I can make money. But I noticed that, for example, like the platforms and the places that I work on, sometimes because of location, I don't know if it's the algorithm has slightly decreased some of my client loads, and it can be a bit tricky. So I've been really, 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 really flexible on being on different platforms, on Upwork, on Fiverr, on all these other things, and really contacting my previous clients. And this is where the word of mouth really, really, really works. Because if it wasn't for the fact that I have a very good track record of what I do, then I think I'll be unemployed. And then I'll have to go back to London. Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. I mean, it doesn't matter how bad it is, I don't want to go back to London. I'll rather go to Italy. I even go to Bali, but I ain't going back to London. Not with what's going on with reform and all that kind of stuff. I ain't going back to London. Sorry, guys, I ain't going back to London. I'm coming back for holiday. I'm coming back for doing business stuff, but I'm not coming back to London. That ain't not going to happen. I'm coming back for my skate family. I'm coming back for my friends, but I ain't coming back to live, right? Okay, even though it's still my residence, I don't want to come back and live. Like, no, but yeah, so if it wasn't for the fact that I have a really good track record of my work, like, as I said, for those of you who don't know, I'm a TED speaker, I'm a conference speaker, I'm a public speaker, as well as training and coaching people. And I have, on some of the platforms that I use for freelance work, I have like 42 reviews that are all like 5 stars and a 4.9 average. So I can see that the algorithm has kind of played around a lot, especially this month. I kind of felt it. But as I said, one thing I'm grateful for is the fact that I have old clients and I'm able to go back and speak to them, and that's kind of what I've been doing. So working online has been both good, okay, and I've had some good days. I've had some really, really good days, and then I've had like maybe a tricky month this month. But it's a work in progress. It's a lot of flexibility. It's a lot of reshaping your mind, um, and I'm doing that constantly, and continuously. So the other thing that I would say that it started to make me think about was the skating. So when I first came in June, I met the skating community, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. For me, skating is, what can I say? I don't want to say this and get hate, but it's a little bit like church communities. Sorry, I go to church. No, I'm a Christian, but yeah, I don't go to church that much. But yeah, skating is like a little bit of a. It's a bit of like a church community. Like when people are connected, they're really connected. Like they really, really are. They really, really are. And I found that community here, and I got so inspired that I thought, wow, I would love to run an event. So how the event was I want to do a skating event, but I don't want to do like just skating, partying, etc., etc. I want to do something that means something to me. And what means something to me is that last year I was I had an operation because I had fibroid, and I had that for about 5 years, 6 years, probably more. I don't know, but I was having a lot of symptoms. All right, I think I'm back. Yes, I apologize, guys. I really apologize. I got disconnected. There you go. The wonderful things about Ghana, and the good and the bad. Unfortunately, my internet got disconnected. So I wanted to tell you about skating. It's okay if you can't see. I'm sorry about the cutout. If you've missed it out, you'll be able to see this again on the replay. So I had this idea of doing a skating event, and I wanted to do something that's close to my heart. I had a fibroid for 5 years, and it was really bad. It became more like a disease than a regular fibroid, and that